Okay, everybody, we tuning in for yet another episode here on JMalcom TV, and y'all know what I always say. Y'all are in for a treat. Man, I want to bring forth legendary big wheel racer, just legendary racer in the grudge game. Period. He has been around a long time. Just setting the bar, raising the bar higher in every level of racing that he's participated in. And I know him as Ira Self, but the world knows him as Boost Doctor. So I like to bring and welcome Boost Doctor to the show. How you doing, brother?
Doing well, man. Glad to be here.
Man, I'm happy to have you. Y'all, we had to make this happen.
Oh
we
yeah,
had
man.
to make this happen.
It just had to happen. Like,
Yeah.
it just no other way to do it. No other way
Most
to do it,
definitely, most definitely.
So when I reached out to you, told you I definitely got to get on the show. You was on the same path with me. And we had to make it happen ASAP.
Yeah, and we did too. We got we got on the ball.
We ain't play
man.
around. We
got on the ball. So you right here in the seat, and we finna roll into it.
Oh yeah.
Which I like to start from the beginning and kind of paint your timeline and stuff. Cause I know you got a lot of fans, you got a lot of supporters, but you're a busy man too. So you don't get time to just sit down and chit chat with everybody individually. So I want to ask, like, how was childhood growing up? Like, what was your childhood like?
Man, as a kid, man, always in the cars. Like, always
Really?
in the cars, man. Like, wasn't no internet back then, and I was just big in the car magazines, man. I wasn't even old enough to drive,
Really?
but I had to go buy the car magazines, man.
Yeah.
And I study. I come up with my little combinations and stuff, man. So that's always been it for me, man.
So what age we talking when you buying these car magazines and doing the combinations and stuff?
Probably 8.
8 years old.
Yeah.
You started early.
Yeah, so it was pretty early, man, because my daddy, by the time I got into it, like, my daddy was kind of phasing out of it, you know what I'm saying? But he's always telling me the stories.
Gotcha.
All the cars he had and what he used to do, man, and they just made me want it.
So your pops was into it too.
Oh yeah. My pops love cars. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I just get on my bicycle almost every day, go to the store, read magazines. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I did.
So you coming up reading these magazines, you already into the cars, you following the footsteps of your pop. So what was your first car you actually acquired, and what age, if you can remember?
So the first car I got, which I got rid of, was a 68 Cutlass.
Yeah.
And it had a Rocket 350 with a glide. It wasn't nothing crazy. You know
that gold Rocket.
That gold Rocket, all gold everything. But yeah, man, I had that, man. I was in I guess I was in the 10th grade. I was either in the 10th or 11th grade. I think I was in the 10th grade, man. I had that. So my pops was working at a car lot at the time.
Right.
That car was just sitting out there, and they gave me the car, man. So I drove it. One day I was out there racing my brother, man. I got a car full of people. My brother out there, man. I think my brother had a Pinto at the time, man. And I held that thing, that power glide. I held it in low gear. I held it in low gear too long, boy.
Oh, man.
She done sucked the oil pan dry and locked that thing up out there.
Yeah. Was that your first race?
Man, that had to be my first race. Man. And so we had a Catalina out there with a 400 in it.
Yeah, the Pontiac.
So of course my daddy was like, I ain't fixing no car. You gotta fix it yourself.
Yeah.
So that was probably the first motor I pulled by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled the motor out both cars, stuck it in there, got the motor mounts and stuff straight. And I never forget, man, my daddy, man, at the time, you could go to AutoZone or somewhere and buy some headers. Like, they have them in stock.
Yeah.
So we went and bought some headers for the car. My daddy bought the headers, and I never forget, man. Like on a Pontiac, the header's kind of at more of an angle where it's hard to get to the boats.
Yep.
And I never forget, man, I was struggling to put them boats in there, man. And my daddy taught some of the junk to me, man. Get out the way, boy. Let me show you how to do it. Get out the way, you know.
Yeah.
Grandma was slow, but she was old. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, that was like my first experience, man. And my daddy put the header, you know, that's looking way back to say that my daddy had to do something for me. You know what I'm saying? I remember my daddy put the header boats in there, man. Got that thing running, man. I was so happy, man. That so I drove that for a while, and I think the next year, man, it had snowed. And once the snow cleared, at least I thought it was clear, I say, man, I'm finna go drive my car.
Oh man.
Man, I'm out on this Highway 55, man. I never forget, man.
Yeah.
I done hit that thing. And man, I probably went about 400 or 500 feet and ran up on the ice patch.
Oh man,
that thing started spinning around.
You went for a ride.
I knocked all the mailboxes down, all of them. So after that, man, so like the people who property I damaged, they agreed that if I came and cleaned it up and stuff, that they would let me off. So man, I had to do that. So after that, my mama took the car. So
obviously,
my brother had a little Datsun B210, man. So I had to trade my brother the B210 for the Cutlass, because she knew like what I was gonna be doing, and like he like, this thing won't go fast. So that's what I had for a while, man, till I could afford to buy, you know, something for myself.
Yeah. So. What age were you when you went on that ride? You knocked down all these people.
I want to say I had to be 16 or 17. I was definitely still in school. Yeah, I was still in school, man, for sure.
So now you got this Datsun, and you going about, like I said, you working toward getting you another car. So from there, where do we go from there? When did you?
So like,
what was the next thing
you know, like my brother always been in the car audio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I kind of. You know, I had my little Datsun and I put my little 8s in the back. I had 2 8s and 2 6x9s in the back window or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I fooled with that for a while, but like it won't no speed to that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So then I want to say after that, my daddy gave me a Monte Carlo. Well, he at least gave me that to drive. It wasn't necessarily mine, but he gave me that to drive, man, and my daddy was real strict about, you know, hanging around a bunch of knuckleheads and all that.
The wrong crowd.
Yeah, and I never forget one day, man, he passed by me and I had three dudes in the car. Man, he turned around, ran us down, told all of us to get out.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And took the car. He did not play that, man. So only way that was gonna go down with 4 people. If it was boy, girl, that's the only way that's going down. If you got 3 knuckleheads in there, you about to be walking.
Yeah, so he took the car.
He took the car and let somebody else drive it.
So what y'all do?
Hey, whoa! What do you mean? Yeah, man, that's how it went. That's how it went down. Man. My daddy ain't play about certain things, man. He was firm on, you know, he knew what it was, and he was kind of a street person, so like, he know how it start, you know. So
that's good though. So I'm guessing I'm hearing a lot about your pops. So you and your pops got an amazing relationship.
Oh yeah. My pops died in 2011, man. You know, that hurt me, man. But it was like when he died, it's almost like I remember everything he ever told me.
All
instantly.
The principles and stuff.
You know what I'm saying? Like instantly, like I just remember all his sayings, all that stuff, man. But yeah, like he the one that really got me into this.
Really?
Him and my brother, yeah.
Gotcha.
But mainly my daddy.
So I mean, piggybacking off of that, like how has that affected you, you know, as a father and stuff, the principles he taught you and, you know, moving forward in life, like, cause I mean, that's some good raising, man. Like he know, hey, you don't need to be around this crowd and stuff.
Yes, sir. So I kind of been lucky with my kids, man, because they all are good kids, man. Like, I ain't really had to go through nothing crazy like some parents have to go through, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely been blessed with that.
That's amazing. So your pops got you into the cars, and then you got your car took. And so when do we shift gears into like when you got your first hot rod? What was your first taste of speed? Yeah, like what was your first taste?
I ain't gonna say it was my first taste of speed, but I had a 231 Cutlass, little V6 Cutlass, and I had all this music in. I had 315s in it, and my boy had a T-Talk Regal.
Yeah.
With a 305 in it. And he wanted my Cutlass so bad because it had the music or whatever. And I ended up trading them. So that was my first car, man. But like it was slow, but it had a little Pete Jackson gear drive on. It had a little intake. You know what I'm saying? Like it had all the things to make it look like something. But my first time to the track, it went like a 10 something in the 8th. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it wasn't much to it, but that was my first time on the drag strip.
Really? So the T-Top Regal with a 305 was your first time ever?
That was my first time on the drag strip. It went a 20 something in the 8th. Yeah. So then, man, moving on, my boy Snoop, rest in peace, Snoop. So he had a second gen Camaro, 78 Camaro. He was like, man, I let you get this car. You on do this for me, do that for me. So we kind of bartered. You know, I did some work for him, and he let me get the car. So he had a 350 in it. So I remember taking that to the track. So this is when everything really start right here.
With the second gen.
With the second gen Camaro, I still got it now.
Now, what age were you when you acquired this? Like you starting to get to the drag
So
strip.
I was out of school. I want to say I was 19, maybe 20.
See, and I'm just asking your age so we can paint the picture. Like how long you really been doing it.
I was 19 or 20, and I went to the track with that thing, man. And I went a 955 in the 8th. It was pretty much all stock. It just had headers on it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where it started right there. So I put my little cam in there. I put gears in it. You know, just basic bolt-ons. Yeah. I think I got it to like a 8, maybe like a 870, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I was on top of the world, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, I was like, yeah, this it right here, you know? So then I bought a set of Dark 2 Sportsman heads, the iron heads, and it went, initially it went like 8.0s.
Just swapping the heads.
Mm-hmm. And then I finally got it to go 780s on horsepower. You know what I'm saying? So I put a little shot on it. Now, granted, this motor, it's whoa slap out.
It wore out.
Yeah, like I had it out the car and I put rings and burns in it, man, but there was a ridge on top of the cylinder like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was wild, man. Like every time I run it so many miles, I would put engine restore, you know, the stuff you put in your oil. Yeah, when it started getting a bunch of blow by, I put that in there. She straightened right on up, man. I had a little 125 shot on there.
Now, let me pause real quick. So you got this nitrous. Was this your first experience with nitrous?
This my first experience with nitrous. See, that's what people don't know, man. I started with nitrous now.
I
started with nitrous.
So what we hearing?
So the car went, man, I could never go 6s. It went 702. It went 702
on the 125.
Yeah, because like the motor was so wide, like it wouldn't take no more than that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's all they had in it. So I went 702, which wasn't bad for like, that was probably 91.
Oh yeah, nah, that was flying.
91, 92.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, full street car, everything in it. So, you know, I got the bug now, you know, so I was like,
now
I'm gonna build me a 4.6.
How did you feel that first time you hit that nitrous though?
Oh man, it was amazing.
It's like a drug,
man. Yeah, man. It's like it ain't like a drug. It is a drug. You know what I'm saying? Because you always want more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just always want more. So at that point, I say, man, I'm gonna build me a 4.6. But you know, it was a little inexpensive motor, man. I had a Keith Black. The Hyper
man, the Keith Black pistons.
Yeah, the pistons, you know what I'm saying? I had the 5.7 rods in it, you know what I'm saying? And stock crank. And I still had those sportsmen.
The dart heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it went a little faster then. I'm trying to remember what it ran on motor. I can't remember what it ran on motor, man, but I know I used to go like 650, 660 backing out. Cause like back then it wasn't no time. So like you just went through there and you just cut the pass short so nobody can't see exactly, what you run or whatever. Yep. So like, man, I used to go 650, 660s like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the time that was flying, man. And
yeah, cause they back in the 90s, ain't it?
Yep. And let me back up a little bit. When I had the 350 in there, I put a set of BF Goodrich radio TAs.
Yeah,
I had the little short ones, the little 265 50s, the 26-inch tall. And I was going 730s on those.
Yeah.
I could almost like the car only went 7.0s, but I could go 730s on hard tires.
On a hard tire.
Yep. Yeah, it was working.
Back then.
Yeah, it was working.
Too money.
Yeah, no special shots, none of that, man. Like, just 90-10s on the front.
Oh, yeah.
Basic shots on the back, you know what I'm saying? Southside lift bars.
Yeah.
Southside lift bars on the leaf springs, boy. I'm telling you. That's it right there. That's the car still got that on it right now. And so that's what I had. And then I switched to the 400. I don't know if I ever put hard tires back on it with the 406 in there. But I do remember I was going 650, 660. But I don't think I ever like just ran it wide open. Like, but I had a 175 shot on it.
So you stepped the gas up too.
Mm-hmm. I had a one. I think it went 740s. I think it went 740s on motor.
I bet you like, man, I got something.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was on top of the world, man. Because at the time, man, this cat from Burlington, he was one of the bad boys. His name was Norris Mitchell, man. He's still around, man. But Norris Mitchell had a second gen Trans Am. So like that was my rival. Like he was the man. He was the man to beat, man. So,
right.
Yeah. So we lined up a couple times. We used to go back and forth or whatever. But man, like he was the guy. So like when I got to the point where I could run with him, I was like, yeah, what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm doing something. So moving further along, I built another 406, but this time I put good pistons in it, like JE pistons.
Yeah, you stepped it up.
H-beams, you know what I'm saying? So
gotcha.
I think I got it going. Yeah, I remember exactly. I went 650s on motor.
650s on motor?
Mm-hmm.
Man, what?
That was 1995.
What
I want to say.
What was going through your head when you made that motor pass and you like, whoa.
It's like, man, I pick on some of my buddies now because they still ain't done that. They still ain't went 650s on motor. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of people have it, man.
And that was a flat top motor. It wasn't no high compression motor, man. I was still driving.
This thing run on pump gas?
I still driving to the track and everything, man.
Man, knowledge is powerful, man.
Yep, it went 650s and it went like high 580s on spray. You know what I'm saying? And like what I know now, like I probably could go 3 to 4 tenths faster on the same setup, just changing a few things. You know what I'm saying? But that was 90-10s on the front, 4 F250 shots on the rear.
Yeah.
Southside lift bars. You know what I'm saying? It went in the 5s. Full interior, it weighed with me in it, it weighed 33, 35.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and this
90, I still got that car now. I just it ain't no motor in it, transmission.
Is this the Doodoo Brown car?
It's Doodoo Brown,
the Doodoo Brown that everybody talking,
man. Like,
man.
Oh,
so after you done achieved this, you done achieved these.
I remember, man. I used to keep all my stuff logged, and then in like December of '95, I went a 6 flat at 118, and in '96 I went in the 5s.
Man,
yep.
Way back then,
yeah,
and if we been,
and that's why I be laughing. These guys, man, they talking to me like I'm a chump or something. Like, man, I was going 5s in the '90s, man.
And Boost, I mean, if we being real, like you said earlier, people still not doing that, man.
Yeah, it's people still not doing that. It's a
lot of people. I know myself too. So you done achieved this major accomplishment. Now, as we moving forward, when did the turbos come in? What made you like, you know what? Cause you was doing it. You was doing
man,
turbo
like
when
say,
people weren't messing with it.
I was heavy in the books, man. And you know, at that time the internet was getting popular, and you know, everybody was on forums and stuff. So
that's true.
It was that forum called Turbo Mustangs.
Yeah.
I think they changed it to Turbo Forums later, but like originally it was Turbo Mustang, but it would be all kinds of cars on there, man. And I used to see turbo, so I was like, man, I gotta have me a turbo, man. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
So my first turbo I had, one of my buddies, they had an old truck at the trucking company he worked at. There was an old truck sitting out there, man. They had a truck out there with a turbo on it, man. It wasn't no real big turbo. It was a whole set HT60. That's what it was. And you know, ain't no super high horsepower turbo, but it was something to get my feet wet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the first turbo I used, man. And I went to the dyno, man. And so at this point, I sold the 406. And I built a 358. That's a 40 over, or some people said 357, whatever.
Well, yeah, 40 over 350. Yep.
Yeah. So that's what I had in there. I had dark Pro 1 heads on it.
So you did the same? Oh, you went to Pro?
Yeah, I went to Pro 1. Like I said, I sold that whole other setup.
Yeah.
So I had Pro 1 heads on it, man. Like a Super Victor intake. It was blow through, you know. I only had like a 650 Harley on it, man. And like at the time, you know, once I really got into it, like it was the fastest car known on a 650 Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had the little hole set on there. I remember my first time going to the dyno, man. It made 670. And I thought
I bet you can about tell you that.
Cause I ain't like so then, man, like I didn't know a lot about converters and stuff, man. I had a crap converter in there, so it was eating up all the power, you know what I'm saying?
Just blowing through.
Yep. So I went on that whole setup, I basically matched my nitrous number. I went a 590. I didn't have as much mile per hour, but like I went a 590 at like 115, 116. Right. But it was working, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So you know me, man. I don't never stop there, man. Like, man, I gotta get me another turbo.
Yeah, gotta perfect.
I gotta get me another turbo. So one of my other buddies had a turbo. They took off a boat. It had a Detroit. Was it an 8V91? Can't remember. It was an 8V91 or 8V92.
Yeah.
And I put that turbo on there.
Right.
Now we cooking. We kicking now.
The boat turbo.
The boat turbo. It was an 80. It was an 83. It was a weird turbo car. It was old, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it was an 83 millimeter, but it was kind of like on the small side for an 83, but it had a big hot side on it. So it was kind of slow spooling. Like you have to do some tricks to get it to spool, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it would go, man. So I went, I think first time out, I probably went like 580s or whatever.
580s?
Yeah, but it did that no problem, man. And you know, at the end of the day, man, when I got everything worked out on that setup, it went 550s at 130.
God, with the 358,
358 and that dark Pro ones, 650 Harley on it.
And changing the turbo.
Yeah, So I had a cat, man, that he used to run with Big Tank in there, man. Cat named Maul. He gave me a PTC converter. So that was my first time getting like a pretty nice converter. He was like, man, this converter ain't gonna work for me with what we got going on, cause they were fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he gave me that converter, man. I put in there and it picked up 14 mile per hour.
Man,
in the 8th mile just with the converter.
People just don't know. People don't know.
Just with the converter, man. Yeah. So yeah, I went 550s. I went 550s with that, man. And, you know, at that point on a 350 block, like, you know, the caps walking. Like you take the caps off and look at the bottom and like you man dragging them on the ground. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, to me, that's kind of like the limits of like a factory block.
I was just telling people, I said when you get about that 700, you pushing it then.
Oh yeah,
you pushing it. So you done did 550s and this thing still street cars.
Still street, full interior, everything.
You put a cage in it at the time?
It had at that time, at first I just had a 6-point bar in it, and then I put a full cage in it.
God told me.
Yeah, but just a mild steel cage, man. Like I say, it was 30, 33, 35.
Yeah, crazy. And this was still in the 90s or what?
This was, I think, because I let the car sit for quite some time, man. And when I went back, I said I was going turbo. So I think I went turbo in like 2000. So like, this was the era like between probably 2000 and 2003.
So 2000, this when not when you first got with the turbo, but you really started getting deep into it. Like
that's when I think in 2000, man, that was my first turbo. I think my first turbo was in 2000.
Now going from Doodoo Brown, I know you got a rotary. You got into rotary too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when did the rotary come about? Like how did that even come about? Getting into the rotary engines.
So I got a buddy, man. My buddy Don from the islands.
Yeah.
Man, he, over there they mess with imports.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying?
They do.
So he had me into that mess, man. We used to ride the Jersey and stuff, and the Atco and watch the imports and stuff, man. So he had me into that, and and that kind of, man. I like different stuff,
right?
I like different stuff, and that got me into that, man. So it was a Toyota, man, right down the street from my shop. I paid $150 for it.
$150.
I paid $150.
That's what you paid for that car?
I paid $150 for that car, man. It was actually in pretty good shape when I got it. And it started from right there, man. First rotor I had in there. Bone stock rotary with a custom intake. We took the fuel injected lower plenum of the intake.
Yeah.
And made a box, like a triangle looking box, and put a 600 Holly on top of it. And that was my first setup, man. It went 9 O's in the 8th, man. You can't tell me nothing.
Man, I know. Nothing, man. I'm telling.
So I finally, man, I went after that. Me, I'm always trying to push the envelope, man. So I did me a little street port motor. Where it's basically a stock motor, and you go in there and open the ports up, change the port timing. You know what I'm saying? And that make a big. It's kind of like a 2-stroke. That make a big difference on the rotary. So with that done, I went 830s.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
830s. Yep. So I was going 830s. So I was like, man, I gotta try this nitrous on here, man.
Yeah.
So I tried nitrous on it. I think I want to say I had a 125 shot on it. That's what I want to say I had on it, man. And it would go 7. Boy, you testing my I can't remember exactly what it went. 7. I think it went 740s. It went 740s on it. Went 740s on the nitrous, man. Everybody loved that car, man. When you pull to the line with that car, cause it sounded raggedy, man. Like
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it sounded like it wouldn't do nothing, man.
It get up out of there.
And people laugh you out the track when you pulling up with it, man.
Yeah.
And then they see that thing take off, boy.
They're like, well, there ain't nothing to laugh at.
Yeah. But on the rotary, man, the nitrous was a lot harder because it creates so much heat in the combustion chamber or whatever, man. Like usually the 8th was about far as I could go before it started eating plugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I used to go through plugs, man, and I kind of got tired of that. And at the time, my buddy had a like a F100 van, and he had that little Pro Charger, that P600B.
Yep.
Yeah, my boy Keith Miles, man. So he played with that a little while, and then he was like, man, I'm gonna let you get this supercharger. So I don't even remember like what I did to get it or whatever, but make a long story short, I got that P600 from him, and I put it on there and took it to the dyno, and it made 293.
God, so much.
And I went to the track and I ran the same thing I ran on nitrous. Maybe like, I think I went 750s. Right. It was a little bit slower than the nitrous, but I could go the whole quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like I could, and they won't eating up plugs.
Yeah.
So I did that. I messed with that for a while, man.
The Pro Charger.
Yeah, a P600B, man. I never forget, man. I made custom pulleys for it. Well, I had a buddy in Mooresville that made a crank pulley, 12-rib crank pulley, and then I had a 12-rib pulley on the blower, and I just had 2 6-rib belts on there.
Man,
you know
what?
I'm saying? Yeah,
some custom stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and for people that don't know about rotaries, what kind of cubic inches? Just to give them an idea.
It's 80 cubic inch or 79.
That's what I wanted you to tell. It's such a small engine.
It's a little motor. It's a 1.3 liter.
That's what I'm saying for people, because they might hear 200, 300 horsepower, not realizing, hey, this is a 79.
So what I didn't know at the time was that they do real well with turbos because they got so much exhaust energy. Like, I don't know if you ever heard a rotary. You hear how loud it is?
Yeah.
It got so much exhaust energy. So, like, you can run a way bigger turbo. Like, for that size motor, you can run a really big turbo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Compared to, like, a piston motor. So, that was a big advantage. But, you know, I'm just learning. So, I had a buddy in Fayetteville. My boy Frank, man.
Yeah.
He was big in the 280s, man. He probably got the fastest 280Z with a 280Z motor in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's fast. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, man, I'm telling you, man, put this little turbo on here, man. I'm telling you right now, man. You won't believe, man. It's gonna smash that supercharger, man. Just put this little turbo right here on there, man. Like, all right, man. You know, like he talked real fast, man. You know, I'm kind of thinking like, man, this mother, you know what he talk about? You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm looking at his 280 and it was pretty fast. So I was like, man, I'm gonna try it out, man. So he gave me this little bitty turbo, man. I put that thing on there. So the turbo was so small, like the hot side was so small, like the motor used to peak at like 7,000 RPM. Yeah. But the advantage of that was it hit 7 so fast, you just pull another gear and it's already there, man. So when I put that turbo in there, man, the first time out, it went 11 O's at 130.
God.
Yeah, I went like low sevens. I went low sevens in the eighth.
The first time.
Mm-hmm. At Fayetteville, I went 11 O's at 130 with that turbo on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and people couldn't believe it. Cause that was probably like 2001 or so. You know what I'm saying? Cause I got that car in 99, so it couldn't have been too much past there. And then like after that, man, I had so many turbos on there. Yeah, it was blow through too. I had a 600 Harley on there blow through. So I had like that's so I started getting a reputation for blow through cars. Cause between Doo-Doo and that car, like they both perform really well. You know. Yeah. So I finally got the Toyota, man. The Toyota, the fastest I went with it, I think I went 630 at 117. Man, it used to run out the back door.
That's insane, man.
That thing used to run out the back door.
That is crazy.
So everybody loved that car, man.
So during this time, how did the name Boost Doctor come about? Because I know that name had to come between that time.
After I did the first turbo, man, because, you know, they called me the professor before that.
You was the professor.
Yeah, they called me the professor before that. You know, Rico Garner gave me that name, man. Yeah. I used to go to Piedmont, the professor. You know what I'm saying? So, like, after a while, man, when I started messing with Boost, man, they Boost Doctor.
So the name was just given to you by the people.
Yeah.
The Boost Doctor.
Yeah.
This was around the time Doo-Doo Brown you was doing?
Yep, this early 2000s.
And you just took it and ran with it. Like, hey, you know what? This fits.
Yep.
The professor to the Boost Doctor.
Yep. So Rico named me the professor, man. So I was the professor for a while. Even after I got Boost, he was still calling me that for a while.
The professor.
And then it finally just switched over to Boost Doctor.
So you done went and did all these amazing things. Now, when did that world famous box Chevy come about? Where did you find it? The Luke Cage, when you purchased it?
So the thing with me is, man, I be into so much stuff. Like like the Toyota has had times where it's done sat for years. Doo-Doo done had times where it's done sat for years. You know what I'm saying? And then I be messing with dirt bikes. Right.
Yeah, you do some of everything.
RC cars, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I finally got to that point where I was like, man, well, I got a fast import and I got a fast mid-size car. I kind of just want like a family type car that got good power. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where Luke Cage came, man. So I had bought Chevy. Like I used to tow doo-doo with it. Luke Cage, I used to tow doo-doo Brown with it.
So you been had this box?
Yeah, I had that car since 03.
Really? And you just bought it just to drive it or something?
Yeah, I bought it, man. I bought it with no motor. I put it had a little stock 350 in it, headers. I put 410 gears in it so it'll pull the trailer. Cause at the time it had 22-inch wires on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just bought it because I wanted it to look good or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, people don't know, man, that car had a little paint on it, 22-inch wires. And man, I have pulled doo-doo to the track with it a few times.
With Luke Cage.
Yep.
So you got this car 305 in it. You pulling doo-doo at the time with it.
350, yep.
Now, when did you decide, you know what, I'm finna take this car and I'm gonna make it fast too? And what was the first engine?
So here again, this was another one of them cases of something sitting, man. I don't even remember what happened to the motor, man. But I'm from one extreme to the other, man.
Yeah,
the car was just sitting for years.
Yeah,
and in 2009, I want to say it was 2009. I say, man, you know what? I want to try one of these LS motors.
So this
my
car, your first LS motor?
Yeah, it's my first LS experience, man.
Right.
So my buddy was telling me, like, man, such and such junkyard got a motor, a 6.0 for $400, but it got a cracked head on it because it was in an accident and it hit the side of the head. Gotcha. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to get that. So Paul Falcon, he already had some experience with the LS motors. Right. So he's like, yeah, man, I got a set of 241 heads, which is like the factory head off of F body. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I say, well, because I had a 99 6.0, and people don't know, like the 99 motor got iron heads on it. Gotcha. Yeah, so but the head was broke. So he has a set of heads. He like, man, you can come on get them or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember if he basically gave them to you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I put those heads on there. I had a LS6 cam, which is like the factory cam out of the C5 Z06 Corvette or whatever. You know, that I had that cam in there and a set of springs or whatever. And I had the turbo that was last on the Toyota on that motor. Really? Yep. Yes. So with a blow through, carburetor, everything. I had the carburetor and the turbo off the Toyota on that first 6.0. Yeah. And it went it made like 680. You know what I'm saying? And I went like 680s with it from the start, but like it was a pure street car. Like, man, it didn't have all the stuff to make it run. Yeah, the suspension and all that stuff. Yeah, it ain't had none of that. You just stuck the engine in there. It went. I remember the first time I went to the track, man. I say, man, I'm gonna take this thing to the track. I still had the 7.5 in it. Man, that thing shifted second gear and spit the spider gears. Spit them all the way back to the starting line. It came through the cover. Man. Yeah, man. But then I fixed that, and it went like 680s. Yeah, with that motor. Then I think I finally got it. Did I get it to go a little quicker? I can't remember, man. But anyway, man, the guy called me up one day. He say, man, if you can drive that thing to Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount Race Week. Rocky Mount, it's a city in North Carolina. It's like a 2-hour drive for me. You know what I'm saying? He said, if you can drive it to Rocky Mount, he say, I give you $5,500 for that motor, and we take it out here in my shop, and I'll tow your car back. I said, I'm on the way. I'm on the way. And I ain't had nothing in it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had, exactly. The whole setup, I had like a couple $1,000s in it, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that went down, man. So I sold that motor, and I did another 6.0, another stock bottom end 6.0. And I had 243 heads this time, which is a little better head. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They were ported. and and this would be my first fuel injected setup.
Gotcha. So is this the setup with the twins on it?
Yeah, this the first twins. Well, you seen them when I came to
So this when we first met.
When we first met.
So it's 2010 then.
Yeah,
2010.
That was my first. Matter of fact, I didn't have the ported heads on there then. I think I still had 241s. And that was the first setup, man. But a lot of people don't know, man. That was a stock motors. Just with a cam.
Now
it made like 725.
And how fast did you get this first setup right there to go?
I went 630s.
630s. Mm-hmm. Man, while we right here on your timeline, and you had this first engine, at that time, Puerto Rican Johnny was alive. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to Johnny too. Mm-hmm. And y'all, you making your rounds, on a small tire game called. It wasn't no box Chevys running like that.
Yeah.
Besides, no street box Chevys. Mm-hmm. Cut the check, you.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel y'all would have stacked up with each other during that time? Cause everybody wanted to see it at that time.
I don't really think I could outrun him then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he had way more motor than I got, but I made good out of some situations in life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't really say. But I felt like he was a little faster than me. Right. Like I just had a stock motor.
I know.
I'm just having fun, man. Like, man, I still got the shifter on the column.
Yeah, you did.
It still got the big seat and everything in it. You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't believe it when I saw it.
People used to love that car, man, because I could be around my hometown, man, and rolling down the road, man, running about 55 and just mad it to the floor and it just smoked the tires. You know what I'm saying? Like, people couldn't believe that. They couldn't believe that, man. So that car was a whole bunch of fun then, man. And I ain't had no anti-roll bar and nothing, man. So every time you hit it.
Yeah, that thing was 3-wheel motion.
Oh, man. People love it, man. They do that in the street. So, yeah, man. People used to come from all surrounding cities and stuff just to get a ride in that car, man. They love that car.
So you taking people for rides and everything?
Oh, yeah. I'm taking people for rides, man. Like, man, so at one time, it was my only car.
Really?
Yeah. I put like the speedometer and everything did it back then. Like I put like 40,000 miles on it.
God, so you were daily driving. Yeah,
I was daily driving it, man.
So out of all your cars now, knowing that you were daily driving, is this the car you feel the most connected to, like, or would it be Doodoo Brand?
Yeah, man, because I think a lot of my friends more connected to Doodoo because it was the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, yeah.
But I'm more connected to this car because it has been through so many stages. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And it has made me money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of time, like, people know that mess with cars. A lot of times, man, it ain't no money being made. You might get a couple dollars here and there, man, but it don't be enough to make up for what you got in the car.
That is true.
So like Loot is the first car I ever had that's not paid for itself.
Really?
Yeah.
So you had this setup and stuff, and then take us through like how did you get into the big rim racing? Like what take us through that story. I know, but
so I did that little setup that you seen in 2010.
Yep.
And here again, I did whatever to the motor, let the thing sit, and I'm on to something else, man. It sat on the side of the shop for probably 4 or 5 years.
Just sitting.
Yeah, and then I'm seeing the big wheel stuff, and I'm seeing Donkmaster, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, that ain't all that. I'm finna put me something together, man. I'm gonna show these boys. So like my boys coming out to the shop or whatever. Man, you think he could beat Donkmaster? Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just look at me like, man, you can't beat Donkmaster. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like was my goal, to come out, put some rims on, and go see this guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did. So like that was so I probably started back on the car in probably late 2016.
So it done set a good little minute.
Yeah, it's set about 5 years probably.
So 2016, you get
4
back
or 5 years. So, when I pulled it out, man, like the bumper fillers was gone from letting it sit. Like it was, paint was dull. Like I mean, 'cause the car was like nice when I parked it, So, so that was the goal then. So this time, I built a 6.0, and pistons, rods.
You built it this time.
Yeah, my boy Will had a set of 243s, man, and it had dropped the motor had dropped the valve, so one of the cylinders, like the guide was broken and whatever. It needed some repair. So I took the heads to my buddy Chris Hall, man. He hooked them right on up, man. So I had a set of Cartech 243s on there, which is like a stock head, but like with a professionally ported or whatever.
Gotcha,
you know what I'm saying? So I put those on there. And I had twin 66s on there.
Twin 66s.
Yeah, so I had made my little core support for the front. Got a little bit of weight out of it. The car was 4,000 pounds with me in it when I got done with it. Yeah.
Still had factory seats and stuff.
Yeah. So that's what I had, man. And I took it to the dyno. And the first time I went to the dyno, man, I had a brand new 6.0 block in there, like straight from Chevrolet, brand new, never been used, man. And I had a drive shaft in there that I had welded or whatever.
Yeah.
And the drive shaft broke on the dyno and ripped the ears off the back of the block. It was brand new, man. The only time I had on the motor was driving it from Durham to Raleigh. That was the only time on there, man. It made like on 10 pounds, it made like 670 or something.
Yeah.
Then the next pull, it threw the drive shaft, man, and ripped the ears off the block. It ripped on the driver's side, the ear of the block right by the oil galley. So when it ripped that off, it broke the oil galley. And so I tried fixing it, man. I could never stop it from leaking. Like I got the ears back on there and everything. Cause you know me, I'm gonna make something happen.
Yeah, you gonna make it happen.
Yeah, but I can never stop it from leaking, man. So I finally, I think my boy Timmy had a block he let me get, and I switched everything over into that. So when it was all said and done, I think on 24 pounds, it made like 980.
Yeah, so now I know you hype because you creeping up on that.
Yeah.
1,000. Everybody want to see that 1,000.
It was close enough that I just called it that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's why I stopped at 24 pounds. I want to say it made. I know it made 980, but I ain't 100% sure on the boost. But I think it was 24 pounds.
And at this time, you done switched over and started dibbling and dabbling with E85, right?
Yep, definitely E85. Yeah, like, man, that's what I forgot to mention, man. I was running E85 on Doodoo, and like I've been running E85 for 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I had on my Toyota. I couldn't never get it to live until I went to E85. Like I couldn't get it to live on pump gas.
Gotcha. Yeah, we forgot this. So 20 years experience E85.
Probably a little longer, but at least 20.
So
at least 20 years.
So now you made the 980 horsepower. Mm-hmm. Now you like, I'm about to go see Donkmaster.
Yeah, so I got the car done in early 2017, man. And his first, every April he have a race. So matter of fact, that race about to come up next weekend. So that same race in 2017, but it was in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville, yep.
And me being new to the sport or whatever, man, I just had 20-inch wheels, man. Like I ain't.
So are these wheels you already had, or you just? So
yeah, man.
You said I'm gonna get these and then.
Well, I just wanted wheels for the car. When I bought the wheels, and it ain't had nothing to do with big rim racing or none of that. But like it was that era where like people put bigger wheels on the car. So I was like, man, well, normally you would have 15s or 17s or whatever. I'm gonna get these 20s.
Gotcha.
So my boy had some 20s, man, and believe it or not, my son bought the wheels for me.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Yeah. Marquise bought the wheels for me, man. So I threw those wheels on there. And I was like, well, this is what I got right here. And I had some I want to say I had a Nitto drag radiator on the back. So
yeah,
like,
street slick.
Yeah, I'm like, well, this dude Donkmaster gonna be at the track, man. So I'm going up here and we gonna see what's up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause he gonna have to show me. So, like at the time, he was the man. Like,
yeah, he was.
I don't even think he had been beat on the track before. I think he had been beat in the street.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had been beat in the track. So, man, we went up there and he don't master. He is who he is. You know what I'm saying? He talking that noise to me. And then he was like, man, you're going to have to, he say, man, I'll ring you. But you got to give me the back tie. So I was like, man, let me make a pass in my car or whatever. I made a pass. I come back. He was like, nah, I need back tie and the brake. So we argued a little while, man. You know, Debo was all up on all them boys, man. He gave him hell, you know what I'm saying? So then we finally agreed to do it, man. And went out there, man, he won't nothing to see. He won't nothing to see.
So after this race, how did things change? Take us through.
So I remember, man, I had an IG. My IG was pretty fresh, and I had 900 followers.
Yep.
When I ran him.
Yep.
And the day after I ran him, I had 1,800. Like my followers doubled like in one day. And like, man, it just kind of just went up from there because that put enough spotlight on me for people to see what was going on. And once a person look and see what I got going on, then they curious to see. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you get your followers, man. You got to offer something to the people that they interested in. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Yeah.
So a lot of, cause I know a lot of the younger guys, they weren't familiar with you, or the guys that's not into small type racing. Cause big rim racing was still just being birthed. It was early.
That's right.
Early in the game, and
that's right.
So you beat Donkmaster. Now you're following growing. Now take us through, cause you got a lot of we can't leave. You got a lot of backlash, cause like the 20s. They wouldn't let you live on. He was on 20s.
He was on 20s. I was like, man, well, I gave him one in the break, and that's what he asked for. Like, it ain't like I tried to cheat him or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he felt like he needed to win.
Yeah.
So he kind of underestimated the car. You know what I'm saying? Because looking at the car, it won't flashy like his. Like, it was basically a dull paint. It had the little wheels on it, but like it won't.
Right.
Want that special looking about the car or nothing to make you say, oh, he got some money in this thing, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So, at the time, man, it was definitely a low buck, it was a low buck car at the time.
Right. So after all this talk and everything and people saying that you on 20s and all that, what made you transition be like, you know what? I got something for y'all. I'm gonna get on the wheels. And then I'm gonna get with y'all.
So I put wheels on the car, man. I put 26s on it, and when I got the 26s, man, the internet kind of went crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they went crazy. I think that was my first post where I got like 6,000 likes or whatever. You know
when
what
you
I'm
first
saying?
mounted those wheels on.
First mounted those wheels. And that's all I did. No paint, no nothing, just wheels.
Yeah.
We love wheels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We love wheels. Like, we ain't studying none of the rest of that, man. It's just them wheels. You know what I'm saying?
Man. It's all about it.
Yeah. So that's how that went, man. And then, like, man, ironically, man, like, I went to the track and the car went. My first time out on 26s, I went 660s.
660s?
Yeah, that was my first time out on 26s.
What was going through your mind when you saw that? Cause that's crazy.
So, man, it's funny, man, because at the time, man, my old boss, man, it's the place, I work at Mayhem, and one of the partners there, man, Jeff, he was like, man, that's all you went? And I don't know if he was serious, you know what I'm saying? Or if he was just, like, I ain't know, man. So naturally then, I'm trying to go faster, man. So I went, that was at Piedmont. So I think the following week or maybe 2 weeks later, man, I went to Galot and I went 650s.
650s?
Yeah, so I went 650s, man. So after the end, so at this point, I hadn't never spun. So enter Silver Dollar Raceway.
Yeah.
So I get up there, man. You know, it's early in the year, so it's like that time of the year where it's warm in the day and it's cold at night.
Yeah.
And man, them boys, they sat around and they waited. I made a good lick that day.
Right.
At Silver Dollar. I made a real good lick, man. I don't remember what I ran, but it was fast, you know,
right.
for then, you know. So I made a good lick, man, and nobody wanted to race me. So, you know, like, it was kind of a thing back then for the guys to wait to the end of the night to try the person that's fast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the night, Donkmaster and Country C, they say they'll do something. Now it's like 11 o'clock at night, man. Like it's cold, man. So, but I, you know, my head at is like, man, I ain't never spun.
Yeah.
Man, I went out there, man. I turned that mug on 3 wheels, man. That mug spun so hard, man. It went up on the side. It was on the
I remember.
The back wheel was just high off the ground, man. Like, man, cause you know, like, I'm much more mature racer now, but at the time, like, when you see somebody pull out on you, it's hard to get off the gas.
You trying
to
go
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you just going backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like once you spin, especially on a radio, like a radio hard tire, once you spin, you going backwards.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So man, they whooped me that night, man. But I couldn't sleep though. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't sleep, so I convinced Country to lock me back in for Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Because I know my car, like naturally, it just hooks, man. But like. The conditions were terrible. And like, to this day, man, that's one of the reasons why I don't like Silver Dollar, man. It's so unpredictable. Yeah, it's so unpredictable, man. You can go down, man, and you can make a hell of a pass, man, and then you come back 3 hours later, man, it won't even pull off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, man, they just had a race, man. They talked junk to me for not going. I was like, man, I ain't messing with Silver Dollar, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, and like I have been fast on that track. Don't get me wrong. I have been fast, but it's hard to read the track.
Gotcha.
It's very hard to read the track. So yeah, man, they whooped me at Silver Dollar, man. But when we went to Fayetteville, man, it wasn't nothing to see.
You got
word go.
You got the lick back.
Yeah, I got it back.
And speaking of Fayetteville, let's talk about another race. You and Cut the Check finally met.
Yes, sir.
What everybody been so take us through that process right there.
So here again, man, you know, the streets talk. And, you know, at this time, I know they got a 434 AFRs, F2 Pro Charger. Like, everything in their whole setup is better than what I got.
Right.
So, you know, I won't really barking at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of want to know what's going to happen. But at the same time, like, I ain't really thinking, like, that I know I'm going to beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. But, like, you know, the car well respected. And, you know, the car has done a lot, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, you know, they just put me in the corner. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You at my home track. Like, the people literally complaining because, you know, that was that night where Cut the Check posing ran Donkmaster, and Donkmaster blew head gas in the water. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that race didn't go down. So people were just complaining, oh, man, such ain't race this and that. So, man, I talked to Hot Rod and Lulu, and they were like, yo, man, let's do this. You know what I'm saying?
So they ready.
Yeah, so, like, it wasn't a whole lot of money, but, like, it was enough to go out there. You know what I'm saying? And we went out there, man, and like I say, I ain't even gonna sit here and cap like I knew I was gonna beat them. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, cause so I got 1,000 horsepower. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got. You know, you got an F2, which is like a 1,600 horsepower blower, and you got gas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you got a nice motor. So like, you know, I ain't gonna sit here and act like I knew I was gonna whoop him, but I was gonna give it my all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you was 50-50 on it.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna be a little more than 50 because it's me, and you got to believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? But like, I won't like I be with some of them guys where I know the only way I'm gonna lose is my car break. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew I was gonna have to work. Yeah, I knew I was gonna have to work. So we pull up to the line, man, and I ain't know no better then. The auto start on the tree ain't on. They pull in the first bug. I pull in my first bug. He pull in the second bug. So I'm like, you got like 7 seconds to go in.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, man, like the tree don't never drop. Like, what he doing? Then he reached over there and pushed the car in neutral with the second bulb on and clear that thing out. Wow. Like, hold on, what's going on, man?
Yeah.
So later on I found out, man, I seen a video, man. He put the second bulb on. He put the car in neutral. Right. Reached under the seat. It's everything on the video. Reached under the seat. Grabbed this box, man, about this big. It got a button on it. Hit that button. Fum! Fum! And he went and got the gas. I was like, oh, Lord. So, you know what I'm saying? So all this time I'm over there, man, one of my homeboy buddy, man. So I'm on the right hand side.
Yeah.
KDC on the left. My boy Buddy, he on the right side of me.
Yeah.
He beating on my window. So I'm super duper frustrated at this time, man. Yeah. I gotta watch him to see when he go in. Yep. And this fool beating on my window on the right side. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very tense
situation.
Yeah, it was a tense situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they finally went in, man. My boy made a video and put a timer on. It was 34 seconds.
God. It was
34 seconds
a long
with
stage,
the second bulb on.
It was a long stage.
With the second bulb on, it was 34 seconds before he went in. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't let my car all the way down. So man, and make a long story short, man, I had to put clutches in my transmission after that because I won't standing on the brake, but it was still a long period of time to be
the heat,
to be the foot brake and then trans brake, whatever. So when the tree finally dropped, I jumped him. You know what I'm saying? And I probably got almost to the 60 and it cracked the tire. Yeah. But this time, I ain't do like I did with Country C when it cracked the tire and get out the gas. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I let it get all the way loose. Oh, it just cracked the tire and I bumped that thing one time when I went back to it.
You got back together.
When I went back to it, boy, he was right there. But he couldn't get back.
Yeah.
He couldn't get back there. He was right there now. I can hear him.
So it was a race.
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear him the whole time. Hey, that Pro Charger loud.
Yeah, it's super loud.
Yeah. I can hear him the whole time, but he couldn't make no space up.
So where y'all was at?
Yep. I might have inched him a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But he got to my back bumper and that's the fault.
Y'all stayed right there.
Yeah, he can't
so
go
man, that race to this day legendary too, cause
everybody
wants to see it.
And they popped the motor at the finish line. You know what I'm saying? So that was the start of the 2.0 bill for cut the check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now take us through that. So you done went through cut the check. You done ran Donkmaster stuff.
Yeah. So I will say, man, Donkmaster, my first time on sixes, he did beat me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He did beat me, but he wasn't faster. You know what I'm saying? I spun off the line. I had all kinds of issues. It's funny, man, how you could go from your car running so good to everything being wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when we got on the top end, I was running up on him, but he was gone.
He was too far gone.
Yeah, he was too far gone. So he got by me that time, man, and he sat on that win for a really long time, cause he would not race me no more.
So
he said, that was 2018.
Yeah.
So we ain't never ran that back till last year, to 2024. It was 2024 before I raced him. before I race him again in Z06. Now, I raced him 100 times in Black Blur.
Black Blur, yeah, that's true.
But
that's
the Z06, he never ran it back to last year from 2018.
Yeah, because 2018, all of us was in Valdosta.
Yep, South Georgia.
Valdosta, yeah, South Georgia Motorsport Park. And y'all just now.
We just ran it back last year in April.
I didn't realize that much time went by.
Race was coming up next weekend.
So. Now, while we on the topic of all this, who do you feel been your greatest rivalry though?
People always ask me that, man. And I don't really have an answer to that, but there are people that I don't want to lose to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with them two, with that being said, it's got to be Donkmaster and Hollywood.
Go on Hollywood.
Yep. Then the two, like, I don't want to lose to them because it's just a whole different situation. Like, Donk got a lot of fans behind him.
Yeah, he do.
So if he beat you, you know, it's
rough.
It's a little rough.
It's a rough
week. It's a little rough, man. It's a little rough. So, you know, I was glad to get to run him back last year because like it's been so long since we raced them two cars. You know, since we raced those like we have raced several times, but you know, he been decking me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't scared to say it. He was decking me.
Yeah.
Because I was getting faster and faster, you know what I'm saying? And he went through a little stage where he was having problems, this and that. He was learning his new setup. And I ain't never really had a time where my car didn't perform. I might have a week or two where I might have some issues, but never like months at a time,
a long,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a long time.
So we finally ran it back, man. And, you know, a lot of people say that Donk ain't fast like he used to be. And I can say he fast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's still fast.
Right.
He faster than what people think he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know, you got to play your cards right, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You got to play your cards right, man. Everybody think everything's so simple, man, but
and see,
there's a lot to it.
I think that's what a lot of people respect about you, though. You know, in the midst of you gonna talk your trash when the time presents itself, but you keep it real though.
Oh yeah,
and that's what make you better too. Like you ain't going into a race with a super big head. Like, hey,
nah, never, man. You know, man. I tell people all the time, man. The slower the car is, the more nervous I am. Because if you lose, it's a bigger L. You know what I'm saying? Like if I lose to Donkmaster or whatever, yeah, that's an L. But if I lose to a car that's known to be way slower than me, then you know.
I get where you're going.
That's rough right there, man. Because it's like it's hard for you to explain why you lost. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
Yep,
so now, take like we went over your biggest rivalry. What you think been your most controversial race of all time?
Oh, definitely me and Donk at Darlington.
The Black Blur.
Yeah, when he got the win, like so the race came about. You know, he had just switched to 24 slicks. He'd been on them for a little while, man. But, you know, back then, Hollywood was the only one on 24 slicks. And he was baiting people to run on hard tires. You know, he a slickster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, Sage had put 24 slicks on Black Blur. You know, I was still on hard tires.
Yeah.
But that day, Hollywood supposed to brought 24 slicks for me to run Black Blur. And he didn't show up.
Right. So
I decided, well, you know, I went down the track and the car went a number. So I said, if my car make it down this time, I'm gonna just run you on hard tires and let you stay on your slicks. You know what I'm saying? So we ran head up like that, you know, and that's what a lot of people don't know. Everybody always talking about the outcome of the race. I'm like, well, I was on a hard tire. And he was on a 24 slick, which is a huge advantage. You know what I'm saying? So we ran, man. And of course, like, you know, he bailed out on me. Like, I can't leave with a slick.
Yeah.
And I ran him down. And, you know, still to this day, I felt like I won. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but
right.
he got the win light. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was definitely very controversial because
they'll
because
constantly
like, you know, it's one thing, man, when it's two cars and they pretty even in speed, it's never gonna be a point where the car just stormed past it. You know what I'm saying?
that's
But
true.
like when I passed him with probably 15 mile per hour. So
Right.
when I went around him, when I did go around here, I went around him. Like,
right.
You know, so but it was just a question of did I go around him
in time.
You know what I'm saying?
Sensor,
but like me in the car looking back at it, I was like, yeah, I did, you know. So
right.
That's where the controversy came, you know what I'm saying? But I shouldn't have never took it there. But I just felt like I didn't lose.
Yeah, it's just the heat of the moment.
Yeah, it was heat of the moment. But you know, but to put it all in perspective, I mean, I was way faster than him then. You know what I'm saying? I just took a hard tire and come around you, like, you know, if I did lose, if the track was 10 foot longer, I'd have won. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, you got to put everything in perspective. Yeah, you won the money, but like, I definitely outperform you. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So he on these slicks and you still on hard tires. Then what made you? Cause I done seen your journey and everything. You like, hey, I'm finna step to this. You went to the wheels. You mastered the wheels. So then take us through when you finally got your hands on some 24-inch slicks.
So the only reason why I went to 24 slick is because I had pretty much beat everybody on hard tires and they were starting to complain.
Gotcha.
You know, oh man, you ain't got a donk, this and that. They were coming up
they
with every
complain about the
excuse.
weight. This when people talking about the weight.
Every excuse they could, right? So they was like, yeah, you're gonna have to go to 24 slick. And you know, I could have fought it or whatever, but I like a challenge.
You do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I put the 24 slicks on and went over there and did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't stop. It didn't stop none of my winning. You know what I'm saying? Like I just picked up where I left off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I took 1 or 2 L's, but I took 1 or 2 L's on hard tires too. But for the most part, my 24 slick record is excellent.
Now, your nearly 24-inch slick, when you first put them on, since this been what year was this when you first put these 24-inch slicks on?
It was late 21.
21. Now, your first pass on a 24-inch slick, what did you see and what was going through your head?
Man, so my first pass on them. So first, let me say this. I first put the 24 slick on. I went out there in the road and tried them, and I thought they was junk.
Really?
Yeah, like they don't, like on my car, they don't do anything in the street.
Yeah.
They ain't no better than a hard tire in the street.
Right.
You know, but when you go to that track,
so you had doubts at first.
Yeah, I mean, like I was like, you know, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I went to the track, it definitely went pretty fast. I can't remember what I went my first time out.
Right.
But I do remember in 21, my fastest pass I ran, believe it or not, was at Silver Dollar. it was at Silver Dollar, man. Like, you know, and I ain't saying that the track was better, this and that, but that's when I had all my ducks in a row, and that's when it did its thing, man. I went a 537.
A 537.
I went a 537 on 24 slicks and
26 is in the front.
And 21.
That's crazy.
So at that time, man, I was still on my own engine program, and I was building my motors. You know what I'm saying?
What engine did you have at the time? Yeah, you did.
So I had at the time I had the Chevy LSR race block. So that's the aluminum.
Yeah,
that's the aluminum block, and you know, I had trick flow. I had trick flow cathedral port heads. You know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy, but good stuff. Like I had billet, I had Oliver billet rods in it.
Yeah, gotcha.
Wide scope pistons, Callies, cranks, whatever. So it was a pretty nice motor. You know what I'm saying?
And you going through all this, when did your car transition from, a long time you've been true street. Like I still drive this car. So
at
when
did you start at that time, it still had basically full interior in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And radiator, intercooler, everything. Like at that time, it could still be driven on the street with no problem.
Right.
So I never really come off the street until I went 3V. And like even at first with the 3V motor, I still had everything on the car, but it was just on methanol. So I still had a radiator, all that. And I was like, man, ain't no point in driving this thing on the street. Like what I had before was already too much for the street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a lot.
So, yeah, so, and then and the other thing is, man, it ain't about whether or not you street. It's about focusing on what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm sitting here trying to do this and do that on the street, man, that's shifting my focus away from my racing.
True. You know what I'm saying? You trying to compete.
So man, if you want to do well at what you're doing, man, you gotta focus. You gotta focus all the way in on what you're doing.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? True. So that's what a lot of people don't understand, man. It's all about your focus.
Absolutely. So you shifting gears and competition. I mean, getting more fierce.
Them guys, man, they spend money. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm trying to make things work on my budget.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, cause like, what type of money does it take to do this for guys aspiring to do that? Cause like you said, it costs. I don't think people that they might not be as in tune with the big wheel side of things, cause you run small tire too, but I don't think they know what type of engines and calibers.
So like in 2018, man, you know, we were still growing at the time, and if you a do-it-yourself person, man, I kind of feel like in 2018, you could probably spend $25,000 and build you a car. Like if you had a skill that I have, you know what I'm saying? Like I would say that I definitely didn't have any more than that in my car. I probably didn't have that much in it, to be honest.
Right.
Because, you know, I find deals.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of stuff on there that wasn't new, you know what I'm saying? So I probably had way less than that in it at the time. But, you know, the average person, you know, that do it themselves, they probably would have had 25 and what I had going on at the time.
Now shifting gears and now, which we gonna bounce back, what would you say it would take to build the car like that you have now in that caliber of engine?
To build what I have now, I would say you probably gonna have 150 in it.
Yeah, easy.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many. Like, you know, I remember a time where something could go wrong with my car and it might cost $300 or $400 to fix it.
Yeah.
See, now everything on it $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a different.
Yeah, man. It don't like, you know, so that's why I say, man, to people that's racing, man, you know, like we all want to be winners and we all want to be big dogs.
Yeah.
But just be the dog that you are, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, why run heavyweight and not be competitive if you can run lightweight and be competitive?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna make a bigger statement
than
running heavyweight and not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So
that's true.
You know, and the other thing is, man, I tell people all the time, man, you got to crawl before you walk, man. Like you cannot start at the highest level class and not go through a bunch of unnecessary stuff. You know what I'm saying? True. Like, you know, like if you start heavyweight, man, so you trying to skip the learning curve.
That's right.
And to do that, it's going to cost you a whole bunch of money. And guess what? You still got to learn it at the end of the day.
That's right.
But you just going to spend way more money learning it.
Absolutely.
Whereas you could have started, I got a friend right now that kind of building like the over-the-top type car for big rim racing, and I just wish they would have started with like a stock chassis car. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, at the end of the day, man, you got to get some enjoyment out of this, man.
Yeah, you do.
You don't want it to be all stress and all money. You know what I'm saying? Like you just stressing over this car and you spending all your money and you're not happy with the results you get, man. Whereas you could take it a little slower, drop a level, because, you know, if you build a heavyweight car, you need a heavyweight driver. You ain't too. There. You know what I'm saying? Part. Like you ain't even never drove a fast car.
Exactly, that part.
So man. So all these, man, you gotta crawl before you walk, man.
That's absolutely true.
You know, the baby don't come out the womb running the 40-yard dash, man.
That is true.
Like, you gotta learn how to do that.
Yeah. I don't think people think about that too. The learning curve of driving.
So see, like I think a lot of people think, man, that it's all about money, and money is a huge factor, but it's not the only factor. So you gotta have the other stuff to go with the money. Cause people be like, yeah, if I had this money, I would do this. But I'm like, man, what you think the next man out there ain't got money?
Yeah.
You got to have something else to go with the money.
And you proved that though. Cause I remember you was getting more done with less.
Oh yeah,
it was that knowledge, and you was beating
for sure
a lot of guys that's a lot faster. They were making it. Cause when I talk to people about you sometimes. And I said, y'all realize he was beating a lot of guys that were overpowering him.
Oh yeah.
At one time, he wasn't the most powerful, but you were winning and stuff too. And
the prime example, man, is when I ran Cut the Check on their new setup. So the first time we ran at Silver Dollar, man, it was cold, and that wasn't a good race because both of us were just fighting for traction the whole time. So I came out on top, but that ain't really mean a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? I was glad to win because, they worked on the car for almost 3 years and they came back out and I still won. But if you just look at all the factors right there like that, I didn't really care nothing about that. But when we ran it back at Montgomery, now that's different.
Yeah.
They tested their car. They tuner came back and told them this all you got right here. And I went out there and ran them, and I beat them. And, I had my motor that I built in my car at the time. They was making 2,200 horsepower.
And they probably
confirmed.
They probably one of the first. Yeah.
Yeah, they was making that confirmed. My car only made 1,380 on the dyno.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, I could have possibly been making 1,500 that night. I put a little extra on it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I put a little extra on it, but I ain't have much left.
Yeah.
But this is just a situation. We got the same body car, we similar weights, and I beat them with way less power. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, it's more factors than money and power.
And while we on that money subject too, cause I always ask this, cause this changes the dynamic of races a lot when money on the line. Now, what's been the biggest amount of money you done had to race for, and the lowest as well? But how did that affect you going into that race, that particular race? Like, what's been the biggest pot you done ran for?
So, I've been blessed, man, that I don't really feel a lot of. I ain't gonna say I don't feel the pressure, but it don't affect how I perform. You know what? When I pull to the line, man, my heart racing just like yours, man.
Yeah.
But it don't affect how I perform. Like, I still perform consistently.
Same way, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as far as the highest pot that we ever had was 40K, and that was when I ran Cut the Check the last time.
Oh, with the new setup.
Yep. 40K.
Yeah. So that's been the big. Now, what's the lowest you done ever?
Oh man, I done ran for $100 before. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't really care, man, especially if the person I racing, if I like them, or we cool, or we just putting on for people. I done ran for free.
Yeah.
And been like a real grass race. You know what I'm saying? Like
you still
some real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of people get stuck on the money, but and at the level my car at, I gotta, it's nice to get money because it costs more money to operate the car now.
Yeah.
But still, man, you still, no matter what level you get on, you gotta love it. And if you love it, you're gonna make it happen.
That's
true. What I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. Like, for me, I still got love for it. So I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna make it happen, whether it's 500 or it's 5,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And and I think some people lose sight of that.
They do. And I want to go back too, cause I heard you mention when we're going through your engines, you mentioned 3V.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did that even come about? How you hook up with 3V? And what have they done for you?
So, honestly, man, 3V helped Donkmaster first. And not even be talking about Donkmaster or anything, but he just never got the 3V engine to perform like 3V felt it would perform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to make a long story short, man, Don't had pretty bad luck while he was running the 3V motor. So 3V reached out to me. And see, that's what a lot of people don't know. 3V reached out to me and he was like, man, I really want to offer you a deal just like I offered Sage.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, that's what he did, man. And I put the motor in and I went fast the first time out with it. Like I never first time out, man, never missed a beat, never had problems with the motor. Like the same exact motor. The only difference in my motor versus Sage motor was I had a little more compression. And that's what, that was one of the things I asked for when he built the motor. But believe it or not, right now, my current motor, we dropped the compression some just so I could push it harder and make it less temperamental.
Gotcha. Yep. That's amazing. Now your current motor, well, I think it might have been the engine before that. When you first crossed over to that next level of horsepower, man, how did you feel? Like, take us through. Cause that's a major accomplishment, man.
Oh man, I remember, man. I ain't gonna go too much into numbers.
Yeah, I ain't
gonna go too much into numbers. But my first time out on a 24 slick with my 3V motor, I went 520.
God.
Yeah. Like my first time out, first night out. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like Sage had just went through all this and that and he's struggling. My first time out, man, I went in the 520s. First time out.
First time with the engine. Yep. That is amazing, man. So I'm guessing y'all definitely got a good standing relationship. And
yeah, man. Like smart. I mean, Tom from 3V, man, that's a smart dude, man. That's a smart dude. And I don't think he think like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? He got he got something different going on up there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He got something different, man, but he could tell you something, and at the time, it might not make sense to you. But it's going to make sense when you put it in your car, and it do what it do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
He's on a different level. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can tell you things all the time, and it don't make sense to you. You know why? Because you don't understand it.
Yeah, it's true.
That man understands a motor. You know what I'm saying? So he a bad boy. I don't care. I put him against anybody. He a bad boy.
Yeah. He. So you would say 3V definitely push your program forward.
Oh, most definitely, man. Cause like it was to the point where, most of the time in racing, you always looking for more horsepower. And like I raced for a while where like the horsepower wasn't even the topic or anything. Like the horsepower was there. I had to learn how to use the horsepower.
Yeah.
And even to this day, man, I still don't. With what I currently have, I still feel like I'm probably 5 pounds of boost away from maxing my motor out, or doing what I know it can do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I got you.
Yeah, Tom is definitely the man. Tom at 3V Performance.
Man, shout out to 3V, man. That's amazing.
He
like,
bad. He bad. It's a shame, man, that a lot of people. I don't know what it is about me, but why not embrace the people that's doing well, that's willing to also help you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They rather see me lose. Not everybody, but it's a large amount of people out there, that's not rooting for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man, because we go live. Don't nobody else talk about they what they got going on or help people with their setups, man, I get right on live right now, and a person asks me a question and I answer it honestly. You know what I'm saying? You know,
You do.
and like, man, I've had tech talks where I just guide people in the right direction so they don't waste a lot of money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, it's so many people, man, that don't want to see me win, man. And I don't know, man. It's like, I think part of it is our people. We want a image of a certain person to win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 52 years old. They
right.
see this sport as a 30-year-old sport. So they rather see the 30-year-old with the big Cuban link, you know what I'm saying? And whatever. Like, I don't have the image that I feel like I don't have the image that people want to see in big rim racing.
So you feel they just rather see you lose instead of just soaking up the game and realizing who was in front of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you got a lot of knowledge.
Exactly.
And I seen you help me.
You hear.
You don't help me.
When I get online or whatever, you hear old man a lot. And I ain't old for no reason. You know what I'm saying?
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
It's a blessing, man. And it's all in your definition of old.
Yeah.
Like, how old am I if I'm whipping you?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, help me understand what's the problem with being old.
Yeah.
If you trying to get where I am. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Help me understand, like, why you keep talking to me like that's a issue or a setback or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it is what it is, man. And I've gained a lot of knowledge through my age, but at the same time, when I was young, I was still doing my thing. I just explained to y'all. Like in the 90s, man, like I had a fast car, and when other fast racers or people that's well respected in the community come and give you your props, they kind of tell you what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it do.
They tell you what you're doing, man. And I have people like that to come to me all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they respect what I got going on. You know what I'm saying?
See,
whether I got big wheels on or not. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to respect it.
So what more can you ask for with that? And so I got to go back. I got to go way back because I forgot to ask you something too that I always ask. Now, you married.
I was.
You was.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout your time doing these cars, your significant other, how does she feel about? I always ask this question: if they got a significant other, girlfriend, spouse, or whatever, how do you handle that dynamic of cause it costs money?
When I met Nicole or whatever, when we met, I think I was messing with the Toyota like at that given time.
Yeah.
I was messing with the Toyota. That was like 2010.
Right.
And I told her, I was like, I'm in the cars. I probably always will be.
Right.
And, a lot of money gets spent in cars. You know what I'm saying? Because, like,
right.
if you about to take a ride with somebody, you got to tell them what you got going on.
Yeah.
So, I explained that now. And it was a long, I ain't going to say she ain't never felt the way about it, but she ain't never said that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I think, man, I feel like it was fine until I blew up. And then it wasn't about the money. It was just about the I can see a woman feeling some type of way about how everybody else feel about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's people, man, that love me. You know what I'm saying? Like that love me will, they down with me no matter what, man.
Right.
And I think I kind of feel like that bothered her. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I always ask that question because, being a car guy myself too, this junk high. Yeah. And everybody's significant other deal with it different, but it's it's just something to talk about.
It would be nice to have somebody loved it about as much as you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
To make it all work out,
Exactly.
or at least love that you love it.
It makes things a lot smoother.
Yeah.
It makes things a lot smoother. I know
Yeah.
most of y'all
Everybody got their way of dealing with it, man. You know, but
yeah. I got to shout out wife. Shout out to wife of Kendra, cause most of y'all know her. Y'all know wife is called.
Oh yeah,
she
a whole different
it.
breed.
Yeah, she into it, but she always make me ask. She running the board back here now, y'all. But yeah, I always had to ask. Cause I said I forgot to ask about that. But so you know, took us through your whole life. Been amazing too. Some of your life, it's just tip of the iceberg. I know we'll have you back on, obviously, but what do you got coming up, Boost? I mean, what's next for Boost Doctor? What's on the schedule, goals and stuff?
So at this point, man, with the big rim racing and all that, I don't want to keep us contained in this little box right here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So I'm trying to branch out to some other type races and stuff, but in the big rim platform. You know what I'm saying? Where I go there and show my thing, kind of like the streetcar takeover deal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I went there last year, and man, unfortunately, I made one pass. The car spun 3 times through the eighth. And I went like a 890, but like at 174 mile per hour, right? And like I didn't even have the car turned up. Like that was like my cruise pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I thought since I was on a 24 slick that it was, you know, but the track was just too hot.
Yeah.
So I had to tune up a little bit too hot. So when I come back around for my next pass, the car started misfiring. And what it was, man, one of the injectors had come apart. And I didn't have another one, man. So that was the only pass I could make. So, you know, I felt like if I could have survived that day, that it would have been like 2021 all over again, because I'm so much faster now than what I was the first time.
Back then.
Yeah.
Right.
I was then.
Right. So you got all that happening. What's your goals like? What's your goals for this year or whatever?
So really, man. So you know, I got my new car, man, Sling Blade, which is a tube chassis, F body. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you know, it's rumors that Hollywood, that I left 24 slick because Hollywood beat me like twice in a row. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it ain't had nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't want to take a go-kart and race a Hayabusa. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I was like, you know, my car, Luke Cage, is more of a hard tire style car, still stock chassis, blah, blah, blah. So I'm gonna put Luke Cage back on hard tires, and I'm gonna take this car right here,
24 slick,
and run 24 slick. But unfortunately, like, it's taking a little longer to get the car together, and I didn't get to run it last year. So I'm expecting the car to debut within a month. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, hopefully, man, the transition of getting that car up and going won't be so hard. You know, like, you know, hopefully I won't struggle to get it to run like I want it to run.
Right.
But like everything is there, man, for it to be a highly competitive car. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely. We're looking forward to it too. And now if people want to reach you on social media, where can they reach you on social media if they want to look you up, man, or message you?
Boost Doctor on everything.
Boost Doctor. So that's Instagram,
YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube.
And I'm gonna put everything on the screen so they can tap in with you and all of that.
Oh yeah.
And do you work on other people's cars while we're right there?
So I do. I work a full-time job at a performance shop. I work at Mayhem Motorsports, right. And I do some stuff on the side. You know what I'm saying? So I try to mostly limit it to the racers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get the racers some help. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do a little work on the side, man, because sometimes I'm at the track and I see what's going on, and you know, like, I have the experience, man. A lot of times I can just look at what you got going on, and I know
Yeah,
ways to help you. You know what
right.
I'm saying? So I try to help some of the racers, man. You know, for the
Gotcha.
ones that ain't got too much pride to come to me or whatever. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
So it's
Okay.
kind of like I got a couple of cars that I'm working on right this minute, getting ready for Donkmaster's race next week.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well,
So like
shoot.
I don't do a lot of like bills and stuff because I don't
Full
have
bit, too
that
much
kind of
time.
spare time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like because like I said, I work a full time job.
Yeah. So it's hard to do a
So
full
between
bill.
that and my racing and keeping my cars running, keeping my team cars running, and whoever else car I'm working on, it's kind of hard to take a big job. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Gotcha.
know, like, at the end of the day, I don't want you to be mad at me because I'm at the racetrack instead of working on your car.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to the
understand.
racetrack.
Got
You
to
know what I'm
go.
saying? Like,
You
I'm
got to go.
going. Like, yeah, man. So it's kind of like what I got going on with that.
Okay, I got you. I got you. Well, shoot, Boost. Man, something I like to do at the end of every podcast before we close it out is, I like to give honor to our Lord and Savior and stuff too. So, I'm gonna say a little prayer right quick,
All
and
right.
then we're gonna close this thing out. So, if you would, you just go ahead and bow.
All right.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today to always give you glory and thanks and just uplift and praise your holy name. And Father, I like to come and just ask that you rain blessings upon my brother Ira and his family, and just Lord keep him covered and protected as he's continue his program and racing and doing everything he does in life. And Lord, all these blessings I ask in your son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
So I appreciate you coming on, brother. So we finna close this thing out. So y'all, we done tuned in for yet another amazing episode here on JMalcom TV with the legendary Boost Doctor, man. He got a lot going on. Y'all make sure y'all look him up, follow him on all social media. Just tap in with him when you see where he at the track. He often posts where he gonna be. So y'all make sure y'all just lock in with him and keep track with progress. And we finna get up out of here. I appreciate having you on,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and we
sir.
checking out.